The Invisible Rules, Hidden Behind the Veil by Kevin Harrelson. They told us slavery began in 1619, but the truth is buried deeper. Not in whips, not in chains, but in ink, in laws, in quiet courtrooms where men wrote rules and birthed an empire of bondage, one statute at a time. Before the plantations, before the cotton, there were rules crafted not in rage, but in calculation. In 1619, over 20 Africans were brought to Point Comfort, Virginia. Some were traded, others enslaved, but they were not yet written into law. At the time, many Africans served as indentured servants, just like poor Irish or English laborers. Work for a few years, earn your freedom, that was the deal. Until it wasn't. We worked the same fields, bled the same sweat, but when my term ended, theirs opened a gate. Mine led to nowhere. In 1640, 3 men tried to escape servitude. 2 were white, 1 black. The white men were sentenced to a few years added to their contracts. But the black man, John Punch, was condemned to a servitude of life. No trial, no appeal. His skin became the verdict. The difference? The Englishman had a term. The Negro, he's not like us. The law must hold. No law had yet declared slavery by race, but the court's judgment whispered a dangerous new idea. Blackness equals permanent labor. 15 years later, the whispers became law. Anthony Johnson, a black landowner and former indentured servant, went to court. His claim? That another black man, John Casser, was his servant for life. Casser had sought protection from a white neighbor, Robert Parker, claiming he'd completed his term. Johnson disagreed and sued. I worked, I waited, I earned freedom, but the gate I saw was a mirage. The law is my shield now. What was taken from me, I rebuild. I did what they did to survive. The Northampton County Court sided with Johnson. Casser was ordered to return to his owner and held as a servant for life. This case set one of the first legal precedents for lifelong slavery, not based on crime, but status. And what was that status? It was his skin. In 1661, Virginia passed its first formal slavery law, declaring that people of African descent could be held for life. And in 1662, the final veil dropped. Partus, Sequitur, Ventrem. That is Latin for the child follows the condition of the mother, meaning that if the mother was enslaved, the child was too, forever. They carved a rule in my womb. My child will never be free, not even at birth, and yet they say it is law, not cruelty. A man must know what is his. If a child comes from her, then he is property, just as she is. And so, with laws and court rulings, not guns, slavery was born into America, not in fire, but in quiet ink, not by accident, but by design. The law built the chain, the court locked it shut, and the generations to come were born behind bars. These were the first invisible rules, not shouted, but whispered behind the parchment and prophet. And these laws laid the blueprint, not just for slavery, but for a system that would mutate and survive. From auction block to cell gel, from black codes to red lines, from plantation fields to policy papers. And unless we name them, trace them, and remember them, they will keep writing themselves into our future. you're still here, thank you for hanging out this long. Please hit the like and subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that I can bring you more content like this.